All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Week 3, Day 2 here of the Heroes Premier League for Coach Jester and Kevin Naki. Our third game of the day was Prism up against Vega. Both of them looking for a win, both of them coming hungry. Prism going home satisfied. 19-3 and a fairly one-sided game. Hopefully we'll see some better things out of Vega in the future. But coming up next, Clairvoyant and 2Arc. Now, again, 2-0 up against 0-2, the rank 3 up against seed 10. What do you think here, Mr. Kevin?
So this match is actually kind of interesting to me. So Clairvoyant last week ended up going with kind of a cool team comp. They ended up banning out Abathur, as we were talking about before, and they started with normal picks: Uther, Stitches, Arthas, even a Malfurion was okay. Then threw in Illidan afterwards. So they banned out Abathur, threw in Illidan, and ended up having a really good game after that. Actually, it was pretty dominating, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I remember that because it was My Insanity did their Illidan, and then 2Arc had their Illidan. It was just Kevin's day. It was Kevin's day.
I was so happy.
But I got to see a Sergeant Hammer at the same time.
So everyone wins. Everyone wins.
Yes, everyone wins in the Heroes Premier League. Even if you lose, you still win.
That's true. So, honestly, I mean, going into this one, Clairvoyant's played very well. They've had good communication. I have to give the edge to them right now. We'll see what 2Arc does. I hope they, again, like I always hope for weird team comps because in any MOBA you hope for weird team comps just because it's engaging, it's fun, you get to analyze it on the fly. Yeah. Exactly, yeah. But I think we're at a stage right now where, like, I think there are a lot of unexplored strategies, specifically around the Abathurs that I was talking about before. But more importantly, some around some of those other tier 2 champs that we don't see on a regular basis. So I just like to see a little bit of experimentation as well. And we have seen that in the HPL. We've even seen that today. So who knows?
Backdoor comp, man.
Yeah, gotta love it.
Last reminder here, guys, we're about to jump into the last one. The giveaway, the Ultimate Dead Week giveaway. Go hit those buttons now because by the end of this game, I'm going to have a name in my Skype, which means that you need to follow it now if you want to get a chance into that pool. Twitter, Facebook, Twitch, Nexus Champ. Go over to YouTube. Of course, all the VODs are there. Week 1, Week 2, Week 3 with Solid, with Zoya, with Shamtu, with Kevin, with myself, Xander, Shane Gucher. I mean, all the games are up there, all your favorite casters. So hit those buttons. I'm going to have a name. Somebody's going to go home happy. It's the last chance you get because we're going to jump into this draft.
That's right. Do it. Go for the contest. I believe in you. I do, kind of. All right. So, okay, well, let's go ahead and get started here. We'll start the draft video in 3, 2, 1, go.
That was about a second idea.
What's up? No worries. Okay, so Clairvoyant Gaming up at the top. They've already knocked out a Nubrak, as we mentioned. It's a strong decision on their part. And actually, it looks like they're going to ban out Rhaegar. 2Arc is going to ban out Tychus. So very, very normal standard bans right here. It seems like, and you know, Rhaegar was, in the past couple of weeks, always considered a very strong healer. I would go so far as to say that arguably the strongest in certain comps right now. You have the awesome versatility of overall Uther with stuns, him just being kind of a perfect pick everywhere. But Rhaegar has like opened up more possibilities of team comps just with flexibility of Bloodlust and Ancestral Healing than I've seen maybe any other healer do. All the other healers are very, kind of laser focused on what they do well, Brightwing, etc. So.
Brightwing, etc. Yeah, there's no other healers. It's just Brightwing and
etc. It's only Brightwing. I could say Malfurion, but of course he's just stuns and silences. So
fair enough. But now, as you said, I mean, Rhaegar's there. Uther's already on the board. Tychus was actually the ban out here from the 2Arc. And that leaves us with the Tyrael. So fairly common stuff today, at least in the opening. Like we had that one Falstead ban, which we thought was a little strange. But at the same time, some fairly solid stuff. This is basically the meta at this point.
Yeah, it really is. You're gonna see Tychus, you're gonna see Uther, you're gonna see Tyrael, you're gonna see Arthas. Those are 4 guys that are gonna come up a lot. Of course, there are a lot of other safe standard picks as well. We'd expect to see a Vala here at some point. We would expect to see a Raynor or a Falstad. And it looks like the next picks here are going to be, survey says,
ding, 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 ding. I'll spoil. Falstad.
Hey, but just what we were talking about, 2 of those champs you always see.
Well, I mean, you can't really deny the front line viability of an Arthas. I mean, he heals himself. Now he's working with Uther, which makes no sense lore-wise. But he's going to be healing the undead Lich King right there. And he's going to, and again, Arthur's going to be healing himself. He's going to have the ghouls for the control as well as more heals. He has the control in terms of the frost abilities. Like, he's just an all-around solid A+ tier S tank.
Yes, absolutely. Because of what you mentioned before. He is the best at being a tank in the game, in my opinion. Because he has that AoE that he throws out around him in his Army of the Dead ability, even though, never mind, we saw Syndragosa last time. Just don't even worry about it. Don't even think about it. Never mind that. He does have flexibility, but his Army of the Dead just gives him infinite sustain. Now, with an Uther, though, I mean, who knows? There's a possibility he could Syndragosa again just for more stuns, more slows to help Falstad. Back on the other side, Tassadar and Vala. Tassadar's one of the probably 3 or 4 strongest heroes in the game right now. No surprise at all to see him. Vala is the next best available assassin behind Tychus. So again, no surprise, just straight meta picks.
Well, all we need is an Illidan to tickle you pink. But yeah, unfortunately, he's not top 3. We don't actually really see a lot of melee bruisers, a lot of melee assassins at all. I mean, we see Sonya. Like,
well, right.
I wouldn't even consider Tyrael like a bruiser at this point. He's just more of a soak in my eyes. But Sonya is basically, like, you barely see the Illidan. There's the Sonya anyways. I mean, she's just a great...
Whoa!
Lily, though. Wait, there we go. Now we're talking about something fun. Lily is widely regarded at the bottom of the tier list. But I did have a conversation once with one of the teams about how Lily... you can't really look at her in terms of the raw output. You got to look at her in what she adds damage-wise with the Cloud Serpent.
That's very true. And honestly, with the team comp that they've set up, that's going to be pretty cool. Just be able to drop that on top of, say, Arthas or something like that, who's going to stand there and just infinitely sustain forever. He can get the full duration of the Water Dragon and just constantly melee people to death. So that is going to add a lot of damage to Arthas. That's a good point.
Yeah. Now, you did actually bring up Water Dragon, and that is not, like, I play with Lashes, and she does Troll Lily, which is just Water Dragon and never heal anyone. But at the same time, is there an actual viable case here for a Water Dragon? Or is she literally just going to be balls to the walls healing and we're going to get the Divine Storm and stuff, like more of a retribution in Uther?
There's so much sustain here already. There's lifesteal on Whirlwind, for God's sake, for Barbarian. Like, I mean, what more healing do we need here? You know, I mean, so I've got to think that both Uther and Lily, Uther's going to do his stun thing. It's what he always does, right? But Lily's got to be building some damage. Like, I just can't see a world where she's going to be pure support.
The last pickups there were Chen and Brightwing. So we do got our teams ready to go here, guys. And unfortunately, the Lily just kind of threw us off a little bit. But the Tyrael, the Tyrael, the Tychus is banned. Tassadar, Vala, Chen. Again, big control comps coming out of Chen these days. And the Brightwing as well for the mobility. So last game of the day. Place your bets. Make sure you go hit the follow buttons right now because this is it. The bottom line, last chance. We're jumping into the game, and I'm not going to mention it again. But Clairvoyant and 2-Arc. What do you think going in, Kevin?
I don't. Okay.
You don't know what to think. Got it.
So no. Hold on. Let me take a look here because the comps are a little bit. It's not like the other games where we just say, oh, okay, well, Diablo's there to cancel out Nazebo, and let's hope they can jump on top and make their lead combo work. Yeah, no. You don't have that here. We have 2 curveballs really. We have Lily and we have Chen. Now Chen's less of a curveball, but he fits into Vega Squadron. He fits into that team comp pretty decently, just due to the fact that he offers quite a bit of sustain where there isn't a bunch there besides Brightwing, and Brightwing doesn't have that big, massive, huge, here's a ton of healing to make sure that you're alive. So they have escapes, they have evasions, and they have Chen to sit there and soak damage with the regen. That's fine, but I don't think it's going to work. Because you have a Sonya and you have an Uther on the other side, just the sheer amount of stuns is enough to be able to knock Chen out of an engagement pretty effectively. So I'm worried for the team comp there. With Lily, though, I don't know. I actually want to look at Nibiabi in Twitch chat, who's actually saying that he believes that Lily is a better Illidan than Illidan is because of the sheer amount of sustain. If you tech her into damage, she can actually stand there, catch up, and do damage better than Illidan can. I think that's hilarious, and I hope we see that.
I've seen it in videos. It's actually true.
Yeah.
Like, Steve did a video about that where Illidan's just hopping over her, and she's not taking damage.
That's awesome.
All right, let's get into it, though. Last game of the day. That was enough lead time for you guys. Hopefully you've hit all those buttons. But week 3, day 2, last game, Clairvoyant and 2-Arc. Are you ready to rumble, sir?
Let's do this. Let's get started here in 3, 2, 1, go.
Awesome sauce. All right, here on the left, people that you should recognize, Batsuki, Hawkfu, Descent, Marsh, and Notorious Stig. They are going to be bringing you Team Clairvoyant.
All right, and over here for 2-Arc Gaming, starting at the top, we have Furious D, we have Keefers, we have Mr. J Pickles, Kiro, and Quibsy.
Shout out to Quibsy. He's a cool cat.
Yes, indeed. Shout out to Quibsy, shout out to Keefers.
Actually, yeah,
Questions
I've
for
played
Clutch.
almost all of these guys at one point or another. I can definitely say I've had my ass handed to me more than a few times.
But
So-
I've gotten to play with them, though, which is the best part, because then we
Wow,
just
that-
run in as premates and stomp everyone for like 10 games in a row.
Yeah, that's-
Anyway. Okay, so no one's starting as a big 5-man group like we saw earlier on Garden of Terror. We have a Brightwing Chen here in the middle. How do you ever damage that lane? You just don't.
Not as a false dad. You just don't have anything to stop either of them, really.
No, absolutely not. But there are 2 ranged champs up here. Wow, I am so sorry. Tyrael actually getting ganked immediately down in the bot lane. I was actually looking completely away from that.
Cloud Serpent.
True, look at that. Lily too strong.
No, it was a nice gank there on the bottom lane. I did catch the end of it though. But Hawkmoon Descent, they come right here into the mid. They know that there's nowhere really for the Brightwing to go. She doesn't have that phase shift that she can kind of ignore the stuns. She doesn't have the blink kills, so she can't get away. So a nice pick up there. They're going to jump ahead 2 kills already, not even 2 minutes into the game.
And I'm watching this Lily build the entire time. Obviously starting with Conjurer's Pursuit, no worries there, but literally I am laser focused on what Lily is going to build this game, because that is going to be fascinating to me.
Yeah, Lily versus the Tyrael there, and then of course Uther and Tassadar. Not really lanes that should be dying anytime soon. The comp though for the roams is going to be Hawkfu and Descent, which is going to be basically the lockup comp to the Arthas and the Sonya. Now we've seen before Arthas very great roaming early on, brings a lot of control, can soak a lot of damage, can make a lot of plays. You combo him with Kerrigan and the double Envenom, not going to be quite there with the Sonya, but still with that spear and the Hammer of the Ancient, she can do damage, man.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And actually we see Sonya and Arthas over there taking the Sea Shrines on the left-hand side. Now on the right-hand side for 2-Arc, this is an underrated use of Chen, to be honest. Just as kind of a strict jungler, you can take out very high-powered camps very early on just with the use of his brew regeneration. As we saw there, he tanked that entire set of knights, lost about a quarter of his health.
Yeah, no, it's very strong because camps don't stun. I mean, sure, the Golem does, but there's no Golem here today. Not yet, at any rate. So Mr. J Pickles comes right back up to the top. They are going to be doing a little bit of a tussle with the Mercenaries. Descent comes in. They're going to be trying to clean up as well. But a lot of attention now onto the top lanes. In the mid, though, Kiriro is going to be pushed off. Suki's actually out-bullying Quibsy.
Yes, I was just going to say that. And despite that, I wanted to also comment, Lily took Healing Ward. Lily took Healing Ward. So take that for however you will, but she's doing a nice job of bullying Quibsy down here in the bottom lane. Suki playing Lily pretty well now.
Now Marsh is playing this really dangerous. Well, that was so close, but it's still not going to be enough. Mr. J Pickles with that root kick coming on in. Well, it's not a root kick yet with the actual flying kick.
Yep.
Probable a root kick later. Now, you did say using him as a strict jungler. It's actually a really great way to go, but you do need team support. Don't try to do it in solo lane because you're going to be there for minutes on end trying to kill a single camp.
That's absolutely right. Notorious DIG up here in the top lane, putting the hurt on Tassadar. Didn't really have any possibility of killing him, but does a great job to bully him out of the lane for an extended period of time.
Back to the void with you, Tassadar. Pickles and Keepers here doing their best to get those seeds. 45-15 in favor of Clairvoyant. A little bit of a scuffle in the bottom lane. Suki is not going to drop. Mr. Pickles, however, will. Oops. And Keepers, he's going to get actually... Oh, just enough. That Envenom. Was that actually Envenom? That was
I don't know. No, that was a Lily auto attack. She actually had vision over the side and was able to finish that off there, so I'm not quite sure how that happened, but Suki is making this Lily work. I have to say, this is cool stuff. 5,000 hero damage for Lily already in this game so far. 5,000 with 25 healing on top of that.
Well, who's number one? Is it Lily?
Yes, it is
Okay.
Lily. Over Falstad by 700 damage right now.
All right, I'm going to bring it up. There you go. Bam, look at that. Pretty intense stuff.
And it ended up going with good stuff. This is a support Lily build that is dominating every single offensive category in this game.
I'm going to be afraid of solo queue. I'm sorry. Like, everybody's going to be level 1, and people that watch these matches on these dead weeks are going to have such an advantage when we do get back to the parity, because they're going to come in and be like, oh yeah, solo Lily lane. Yeah, no problem. And we're going to be like, what? And it's going to, I'm just going to not have a good time.
And now we understand. I'm fine with it now, honestly, after this performance. Okay, so 2-Arc's going to make their way in. Kiefer's, gets stunned up. So Bala taking some damage here. She vaults away, gets to the back. Descent actually taking a huge amount of damage. Falstad comes in to try and finish her off with the Envenom. That is going to be enough. He backs out of there. Brightwing has died as well. And now a terror could pop up for Clairvoyant in addition to the 2 kills they just got.
Mr. J Pickles trailing in the back, trying to soak up that damage, and did a good job of it. Did keep up Furious Steed. It wasn't quite enough punch here from Clairvoyant to seal the deal, but Suki, the Lily, who has been dominating this bottom lane, is now taking the Garden Terror bot lane, and this is going to be a little bit of out of position game here for 2Arc because, Vala and Chen are not going to be down here to defend, and this is probably going to be the gate, if not more.
And Lily did indeed take Jug of 1,000 Cups, by the way, so no Water Dragon. Still being as defensive as possible. Oh, look at that Wombo combo leap into the Divine Storm, into the False Stand on top of that. 2 more members of 2Arc fall.
And that's why you see big emphasis a lot on Fausted, because level 16 mage build with the overdrive does 25% more damage. You get the gathering power. You get 1 stun off. You guarantee land that lightning. You blow someone up. You remove them out of the fight, and you take an entire lane because of it. Clairvoyant coming out strong. 2 levels ahead. Still no ults for 2Arc.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, and I don't know how they're going to hold this back. Suki has got limited time left on the Golem here, so this is going to disappear in just a bit. But the sheer pushing power for Clairvoyant is crazy at the moment. 2Arc needs to turn around with a massive engage here. Mr. Pickles trying to come in from the side. Will they engage on this? Yes, they're trying to. Mr. Pickles gets turned into a plant, and that stops that.
That stops that indeed. Still, either way, bottom fort, they got both gates. Furious D's not looking so healthy. He does pop out that phase shift, or void shift, I actually. They renamed it several patches ago, but yeah, either way, 8-1, 3-level advantage. Clairvoyant is still looking extremely strong in this game.
Yes, yes, they absolutely are. So
they're looking for an ambush. Like, they have to be looking for an ambush. There's no camp there for another minute.
No, it looks like they were. But we see 2 members of Clairvoyant splitting and taking the Knights here at the left-hand side. Knights are going down for 2Arc on the right-hand side. They've just grabbed those. So we have stabilized a little bit. And a 10-12 disadvantage is way better than a 9-11 because at least hero powers are there for 2Arc. So if they can land a big pick-off here, maybe they can turn this around. They're going to try and go in on Marsh right away. There's the Judgment. He falls.
Oh, you must be a few seconds ahead as well. You just fell for me there, but
sorry, I'm pausing. Go ahead.
Well, let me know your time.
You're good. You're good. You're good. Just keep going.
751,
yep,
and this, all right, this keep not going to be looking so hot. Man, we did just have Marsh bribe out and take out the other giant, and unfortunately, they're not going to get anything for it. They re-engage, however.
Yeah, and they're going to jump right back on this here. So Keepers is laying out some massive damage in this fight, but he's going toe-to-toe with an Arthas, and unfortunately, he is going to get killed. There's the Jug of 1,000 Cups coming out from Lily, and look at the health of Clairvoyant this entire time. Jug of 1,000 Cups keeping everyone up to completely full health. 2Arc Gaming is taking massive damage on their way out. Descent has soaked most of this, but I don't know if the damage is there to land any more kills, especially with the sheer sustainability of Chen.
Well, who else is there to do damage? Like, Vala's dead right now. I mean, they're going to try their best on top of Suki, but even then, Mr. J pays so hard to grab it. Furious D is a sliver of a hit points. Tyrio's going to drop. Mr. J Pickles does have the pandas up his sleeve, but still, that's not a damaging combo. He's just going to have to use them to distract and get out. I mean, sure, they finally took down Suki, but they paid for it with another death on their end. 10 kills to 4. 13-12, so we're going to give that underdog bonus a little bit of credit here because that does put us almost to the levels, but now we're 14 here for Clairvoyant. So, bottom lane has been actually under siege this entire time.
That's right. Those Knights have pushed up, and that's why there's still a pretty decent discrepancy here in the experience between these two teams, because that slight kill advantage was actually better for 2Arc than you realize.
Yep.
Quipsy wanted to try and move in on these Siege Giants that were getting taken down here off to the side, but wasn't able to do it. He's feeling anxious. He's been putting out some pretty good damage now, so I think he wants to get in there and fight as soon as they can find someone to pick off.
Now, both Brightwing and Falsehood have been zooming around, using their mobility in order to do a lot of bribing. We also now have Clairvoyant looking for more seeds. 95 in their pocket. They're definitely going to be getting those terror, and there it is, starting its growth cycle. The way that this map was changed, of course, you can't stockpile these seeds anymore, so you got to use them. This is a perfect time to engage.
And Vengeance was actually chosen by Vala there, so they are going to engage. And here comes Judgment right on top of that. Divine Storm didn't actually hit that many people from 2Arc Gaming, so they're able to walk away. Furious D even with his Psy Storm and with his Archon barely surviving and doing good damage on the way out. Vala ends up dying in the middle of all of that, but it looks like if they play this right, they may be able to turn this around. Let's see here. Lily is left. She has some good mana left for some more heals, but it looks like they are going to leave Sonya to die. So another nice little fight for 2Ark Gaming. They start to claw their way back into this a little bit further.
Yeah, 3-1 for that exchange. That was definitely really good here for 2Ark. Pickles is not done yet. He's going to go in. Marsh is going to be the target, but he does have a barrel roll up his sleeve. Still, the Pandas are body blocking beautifully. Kirill's getting off a few auto attacks there as well. Suki trying to keep up Marsh as best as she can, but still buying all this time for those Giants. They're going to take out that that fountain, do a little bit of damage here on top of the fort, or maybe they're just going to drop because everyone has gone. But still, the seeds are going to go back into the pocket here of 2Ark because we have a terror now on the field.
That seems like a waste of Storm Earth Fire for me from Chen as well. Like, I don't think there was any way possible that he was going to get that kill. And here comes the rest of Clairvoyant just trying to chase down 2Ark. Judgment comes in from Tyrael from the side. March taking a huge amount of damage and falls. Mr. J. Pickle is there, and they're going to take down Notorious DIG. Great job. So now Uther and Falstead have fallen, and this continues to be turned around by 2Ark Gaming, who has now neutralized a lot of the effect of this Garden Terror pushing.
And again, like a lot of the time you're going to see tanks inside of these Garden Terrors. That's Arthas in there. Like they don't have any of that control. They have this one little plant that comes out every now and then, and 2Ark Gaming is taking advantage of that to get these kills.
Okay, so Mr. J. Pickles just grabbing a shield there with his brew as he heals back up his mana. They're going to take to this top Garden Terror here, and I think that's a decent idea. They can get a Plant Terror of their own here in just a moment. Descent has to be out of time pretty soon on this Terror.
Let's find out. 23 seconds by my count. A nice little spectator trick right there.
Nice. Well done.
Still, 23 seconds on it. Descent really not going to be able to get much done. He might be able to throw down one more field of don't stand in this, and I think that's actually what he's going to do. He's sprinting forward. He's going to be trying to get this positioning. Kirill going to be a little bit of a target there from Hawk Fu. Does get actually sheeped out. Descent is finally going to jump out of that terror, and that's going to be bringing the Arthas into this. Remember?
Yes. And Mr. J. Pickles is going to have to turn into Storm Earth Fire here in just a second. Falstead dies immediately. Great job by 2Ark to actually jump on top of him and neutralize him in this fight. Despite the fact that everyone from 2Ark has been pretty low, they're all grouping around Brightwing very effectively, who has been able to continue to sustain heal this entire fight. Furious D drops his Archon, comes in from the back, and that is another big win there from 2Ark Gaming, who has completely now turned this around, and I would say even gained a big advantage in this game.
Oh, a big advantage indeed. 4-0 for that trade, and of course we do not have a Garden Terror in the pocket here of Clairvoyant's Eye. The Notorious Dig is the only one left alive, but level advantage going the way of 2Ark, kill advantage going the way of 2Ark. They're now closer to 20 than Clairvoyant, who at one point was up almost 3 levels in the early game. The mid game has really come out nice here for 2Ark Gaming. They're getting the picks, they're getting their comps, and they're getting these kills.
Yep, they got 2 picks, and then they won a team fight, and then they haven't lost anything after that. They've been dominating the map in terms of objectives. They're even going back potentially to grab a Garden Terror here in just a second. And is that actually? No, okay, of course not. Kiefer's coming back out. Someone will jump back to take that Garden Terror here in just a second, I would imagine, and they can make a big dominating push.
Chen or Tassadar is going to be my bet. You do have a whole minute to do it, so they're going to get these creep camps before they actually spawn out the Terror, because of course the merc camps do disappear once you actually do suit up. And you can see Furious D, he is going to become the Garden Terror. The rest of the camps are gone, which you can see here. So not only do we got a push top with the Knights, we're going to have Siege Giants here in the mid, and that's going to be some great distractions and alternate lane pushes available to 2Ark as they go in for this fight.
So I want to take a step back here because Lily has become just kind of a normal Lily over the course of this game, despite our fascination at the beginning. But what I want to comment on is this. What we saw from Lily was a really great overall game strategy. They specifically used Lily to solo a lane and bully out a much bigger tank from that lane and gain an XP advantage. That's all they wanted. And then Lily can become the normal, when you're ahead, Lily's really good, kind of Lily that we know she can be. So a clever way to play her in this comp. Big hats off to Clairvoyant. The problem is, though, it doesn't look like it's gonna be enough to overcome this late game advantage for 2Ark.
Yeah, 2Ark really wanted to push out this bottom while everyone was busy with the Knights top, but unfortunately they were so far pushed into their base. Everyone has just come down to this keep, and it's gonna come down to this keep with this Terror.
That's absolutely right. So Falstad goes off there. He does a little bit of damage, but I don't know if that's enough to push back 2Ark Gaming. Notorious DIG takes huge amounts of damage, and Uther is only going to be around for another 10 seconds in his spirit form. And once again, 2Ark is calling out targets and picking them off one by one extremely efficiently. Kiefer ends up dying as his Vola goes down, but this is still a 4-for-1, and not just going to be this fort, but going to be another one after this too.
Yeah, let's take a quick look. Furious D still has 16 seconds on that tear, so that's going to be at least the gate. He should be able to throw down that flower pot. Marsh is the only one left. Quigley goes over the wall. He's going to be trying to zone out the Falstad at this point, and yeah, Marsh just too close to that front line. Oh, they went right through the wall. That's what they did. Yes. They didn't go for the gate. They went through the wall, and I don't think Marsh did not expect that whatsoever. All of a sudden, people in his face. That's going to be the keep. And could this actually be a game-ending push? Everyone's still dead in the water.
Everyone is still dead in the water, but they're going to be up like right now. So there's Uther coming up. Here's Sonya, and they're going to try and push this back. That core is at about 80% health right now. They have to watch and make sure they don't overcommit here. There goes Tassadar. Notorious DIG is doing some pretty good work here, making sure to stun up people that they absolutely want to kill. Divine Storm hits. Caro taking some damage. They're trying to get this core down. It's down to just about 20% health, but I don't know if they're going to get it.
Yeah, Mr. J Pickles is dancing around just like an Illidan would, going from side to side. That's going to become the Pandas now. The Pandas might actually be able to do this. It's going to be really close down to it, but once you're this committed, you have to overextend as much as you can. So close. If only the Valor was alive that entire time, you'd see her, she on the map. She did unfortunately die early in that last engage, and unfortunately, that's a big map to traverse. She didn't have anything to get into this back line, but still, that is a game-ending YOLO push right here. If we do not end the game right now from Clairvoyant, they are very likely to lose.
And there's no way. They're stopping to get camps right now, and even if they take out a keep, the members from 2Ark are coming up in just a few seconds. It looks like they might be able to get this keep, but the problem is, like, I'm surprised Vala just hasn't run down the middle of the map and just shot it.
Just YOLO'd it? Yeah.
Why not?
Well, the danger there is if you get caught in the jungle, you're not defending anymore.
That's
like,
true.
The team is going to be up in basically 7 seconds, Chen in 15. It's going to come down to very who can get the core. Is it going to be this push or the one after?
Well, that core is now down to about 70% health. So Clairvoyant's going to push the way in. Notorious DIG dies. He just needs to go after the core and not think about anything else. The core down to about 15% health. Getting right down to the end. Suki down to health as well. There it goes. The core dies. Clairvoyant ends up winning the game. Believe it or not, 2Ark Gaming. Are you kidding me? Wow.
As I said, you had to win in that push because that is a YOLO amount of core that they had back at their base. They had to do something here, and if it wasn't going to be a win, it was going to be a loss. And I got to say, that came down right to the wire. Had Vala been up any sooner, it could have been different. Had she gone YOLO into the core, could have been any different. But they played it safe at the end, and they didn't YOLO hard enough. Unfortunate.
Jeez. All right. Okay. I changed everything I was saying before. Lily, best pick NA. That's
that's Cloud Serpent, man. Adds so much damage to the end meters.
Yeah.
Like, can we even see the end meters here? We totally can. Look at that.
Yeah.
I'm looking at Falstad at 51K. Arth is at 44K. Sonya at 41.
Yeah, that's very real damage. So even though it looks like Lily's down in damage, take about 5,000 from every other hero that's on their team, and you can attribute that to Lily. Very cool stuff.
Yeah, I'll show the. While I'm here, I'll just show you guys the towns. We didn't even get to 20 here. Like,
I know.
This was a level 19 team winning against level 20.
Yeah. Yes, you are absolutely correct.
Sometimes things just come into your court, I guess.
Man, and that was so close for 2Ark, and that's something we've seen from them a few times, actually. 2Ark has been so close to winning games. Their 0-3 record does not actually reflect how good of a team they are, because they had that game in the bag up until the overcommit on the core.
One auto attack is basically the difference right there. One auto attack. So
absolutely right.
Good game, well played. Clairvoyant will continue 3-0 here into the HPL here in week 3, and that will bring a close to our week 3 games. Congratulations to those who won. Better luck next time to those who didn't, because next time you're going to be playing, it will be on the rebooted Heroes of the Storm onto the actual Battle.net production servers. Let's hope for a good infusion of talent coming into the scene. But next time we do go live, maps will be able to be picked, and we should hopefully see something of a bit more of a meta shift depending on the map. We've already set up the drafts for map bans here at the HPL, so the future is looking good, Mr. Kevin.
Oh man, and it has been so much fun to cast Heroes. Really has been. I got to admit, as much StarCraft as I did in the past, and as much as I still love StarCraft, do not get me wrong, Heroes is a different beast to cast. I've never casted a game like it, and it is so much freaking fun. So I cannot wait for the future of Heroes. I think the competitive scene is going to be incredibly healthy, and hopefully we'll even see more and more players coming in soon as they continue to add people in.
Talent? That seems generous. Oh, no. So funny.
That's awesome.
Yeah, RTS versus MOBA casting is actually a whole different beast. I mean, if we went into Halo for something like FPS, yeah, it would be an entirely different machine as well. So